All right, how we doing? Nick Elliott here with Focus Training, and today I'm just going to shoot a quick video for you. Specific to golfers, it can be used in many other sports that require the separation, the dissociation between spine, ribcage, and then pelvis and the hips. Going into the backswing, you're moving in sync, and then as you follow through and continue through the swing, you're still moving in sync, but there will be a slight separation in terms of timing. One thing that I am noticing is that a lot of times the spine and the pelvis will move back together, loading this posterior hip here. So as I'm coming in, I'm loading my posterior hip here. And then as the follow through is happening, the pelvis, spine, and ribcage, they're all moving at the same pace to create that follow through. In order to use the body efficiently, use energy efficiently, the hips, the pelvis are gonna be moving slightly quicker on that follow through. They have to be, creating that chain reaction, and that spine is gonna come flying through. And you see some of those top golfers, they are executing that really well. So yeah, that's what we're gonna hit. So right now I call them the super bands. I just have the lightest resistance I have super band attached over here. All right, I'm just gonna start in this about just below my chest height position. I have done this exercise with a high point, basically so that the angle is like I'm at the height of my backswing, and then I have to pull through that. So you can change the angle. You could start low, you could start medium, you could start high. Really like experiment for yourself there, because the body will respond best to different stages as opposed to just teaching one thing over and over again. So what we're gonna do here, all right, right hand, I'm gonna follow through to my right, okay? So my right hand will be my base. My left hand is gonna go over top of that. And now I have my feet positioned specifically as a golfer. That's kind of what this video is for, all right? And I'm gonna just allow my body to almost rotate back into this as if I'm in my backswing, right? So in rotating back into this, I've created that posterior hip load here. So my left leg, my left hip has that posterior hip load, all right? I can feel my glutes, I feel it going down into the hamstring. And what I'm doing from that position is I'm just gonna work that motion right there, all right? And all it is like if you imagine your pelvis here and you're almost, this left hip is just drifting slightly back here, drifting slightly back, creating flexion here, all right? And this hip load, right? So I have that slight bend in my knee, okay? And then from that position, I'm using all of the like the elasticity, the tension here that I just created to whip that side through, right? So it's this left hip pushing through the ground through my left foot. This left hip is just gonna drive through. And in doing so, if you think of like the domino effect, right? I'm pushing through the left foot, I'm pushing through the left hip, I'm whipping that through. What's gonna happen with my spine? It is going to come flying through here at an incredible pace, with crazy momentum. So that's kind of what you're trying to facilitate here. In position, I'm into my backswing, creating posterior hip load in my left, and then I'm gonna swing my hips through, boom, and then follow through, right? So starting off, it can be a little bit more mechanical, it can be a little bit slower, so that you can see the separation, right? So if my rib cage is facing to the left here, right? I'm facing to the left, my eyes are on the golf ball, and then my pelvis is rotating to the right. So posterior hip load, unload. Posterior hip load, unload, right? Boom, boom, right? And then I'm gonna start adding that in, right? Boom, okay? Boom, boom. So I have my load and my unload. So you'll notice the more I do that, my pelvis and my hips are just moving slightly quicker. Boom, boom. And then that spine is following through each time.